Good afternoon, all of you. Can you hear me? I have to speak louder than the neighbors. Okay, this is about competition. How loud can I speak so that you can hear me and my panelists? And I request all my panelists to take up the challenge. We are louder than the next. Okay. So it's lovely to be here with all of you here today. I am from Bangalore. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 2 decades, built businesses across multiple sectors, starting from BPO to EdTech to grocery delivery. Some of the top names like Big Basket, Bluestone, Tutor Vista. And of course, last 10 years I've been spending on something which is very close to my heart, which is in the healthcare sector called Portea Medical. We work on providing outside of hospital healthcare to people. So one of the last 10 years of being in the healthcare sector has shown to me that access to good quality healthcare is quite restrictive today. When I started, there was no concept of outside of hospital care. So care meant going into a clinic or into a hospital. Now, over the last 10 years, that has changed. We get a lot of things that people need for ongoing care, for recovery, for rehabilitation is now coming home. So that's a transformation that's happened. But still, this is only in the urban centers. In the rural locations, in smaller towns, still access to good quality healthcare is limited. That too, only when I'm talking about healthcare, we are really talking about some of the core problems that people have. That said, there are areas such as mental health, which is still highly untapped and not really supported. Certain chronic conditions, and we have our colleagues here who are going to talk about some of the areas that they are working on, are just not being addressed at all. So here is a panel of extremely smart women who have come up with solutions for different kinds of problems, and I'm really delighted that I'll have the opportunity to interview them. And of course, I do wish that you will have questions ready for them, because each of them is doing something extraordinary, and really you should know more about them. So let's get started on this. We have Sonia here. She builds a manufacture. She runs a manufacturing and go-to-market unit for providing ECG monitoring. And some of you who have come from the medical sector will know that there is something called a Holter monitor that people wear to look at how their ECG is performing, but typically that's short duration, it's expensive, it's maybe 24 hours to 48 hours only you can monitor. But here she has created something which is extraordinary. So I want Sonia to talk a little bit about what made her take this jump. How difficult is it for her to get into manufacturing, especially of an electronic product, and how's the go-to-market experience has been. May I request that initial comments you keep for 2-3 minutes, not more than that, because we'll come back to you for additional questions.
Hi all. Hope I am audible.
Can you hear at the back? If not, please. No? Yeah, speak a little into the mic like this. Yeah, thank you.
So, good afternoon all. I'm glad to be here to share our journey, especially our mission to reduce the stroke burden of our country. Myself, Sonia Mohandas, and I represent Wafer Chips Techno Solutions Private Limited, a medical device manufacturer and service provider, especially in the cardiac segment. We have our product BioCalculus, a cardiac monitoring ecosystem designed, developed and manufactured entirely in India. And in simple words, we can say that BioCalculus is an extended version of Holter device for cardiac rhythm studies. But our core innovation lies in a wearable patch seamlessly integrated with an AI-based proprietary software which provides a comprehensive solution for clinicians and patients. Our product has already impacted 500 plus clinicians and 10,000 plus patients across the nation over the past 3 years. And we are not merely providing a device or solution, but we are also part of a larger movement to create awareness among the general public about the criticality about screening the cardiac rhythm regularly, especially for people who are in the 40s and 50s, like who are more prevalent with cardiac issues, diabetes, high cholesterol and all. So that's a nutshell about wafer chips. And to ma'am's question, since we are a manufacturing unit, especially in the medical field, we have to keep some quality standards, like we should be ISO 13485 certified. Then we have to get the manufacturing license from CDSCO. Previously, during our starting of the journey, there was no regulations for our product, but recently central government has come with MDR 2017. So stringent rules are there for manufacturing medical devices. And since we are manufacturing the product, we have to collaborate with several channel partners like PCB assemblers, PCB manufacturers and all. So they also should have the similar quality. They also should be ISO 13485 certified. They have to follow all the quality standards. Then only we can take the production from them. So we have to meet all those things. And we have to get the clean room facility. For a manufacturer to manufacture in their own clean room facility will cost around more than 1 crore. Luckily, we have the clean room facility of Sri Chitra Institute of Medical Science, which costs only 30,000 to 40,000 per month. So we can utilize all those facilities. So the main thing is regarding a manufacturer, we have to collaborate with the subcontractors who have equal quality. We should have the control of all the manufacturing facilities in their firm. So that's it about the manufacturing. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very useful. And I'm sure it's eye-opening, especially for me. I have not been in the manufacturing sector at all, so that's very useful. Now we go on to Noureen. Noureen is in the very competitive D2C space, so I'm very curious to understand excuse me, what made you pick up these products? Her D2C brand is primarily in the area of feminine hygiene, intimates and grooming, grooming products, all things which are difficult to talk about, a little taboo, people feel uncomfortable talking about it, and here you are creating a D2C brand in that space. Tell us a little bit about what made you do it and how difficult is it, this challenge?
Sure. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. So glad to address you all. So I'm Noureen and I'm the co-founder of Femisafe. So Femisafe is a female wellness and hygiene D2C brand. And what inspired us to start this is basically, I think like around in 2020, we identified that there was a gap of lack of awareness. Yes, there are a few other brands, but there's no point in launching products for your consumers as long as they're not aware of it. So that's where we came in to bridge that gap of lack of awareness. And also with this awareness, what we're trying to do is basically make period talk the new normal. So we have done it through community engagements, and of course social media has played a really, really important role, because unlike other brands, we pick the very sensitive topics, whether it be related to female hygiene or female contraceptives, whatever it be, and we talk about it. And with that, we've been able to create a community of loyal customers, where we have around 1 lakh plus customers, as of now, from past 3 years. So yeah, so that's what Femisafe does. So we have 3 categories basically, which is period care, grooming and intimate care. In the period care category, we started with menstrual cups, and then we launched sterilization cups. We were the first in India to launch a non-electrical and affordable sterilization cup for menstrual cups. Then yeah, we felt like, okay, we have to address more pain points of female consumers. Then we ventured into grooming category, intimate category. So now we are focused on expanding these 3 categories and again, impact a lot more women. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Now moving on to Dr. Vandana, who's an Ayurvedic doctor and professor, and who has moved into being an entrepreneur now and is working in the area of PCOS and helping girls reverse the PCOS problem, which I'm sure many of the women over here know, men may not know about it, but it is very, very prevalent, and it has a lot of physical and mental impact on the young women. Vandana, please talk us through your journey. What made you start this? And where are you in your, I believe you've just recently launched your app. Talk us a little bit through that.
Hello everyone, myself Dr. Vandana. I am the co-founder of Curate Health. So Curate is a wellness platform for women to reverse lifestyle conditions like PCOS. We combine Ayurveda, yoga, strength training, nutritional planning, mental health counseling, everything in one single platform. Literally, we provide everything a woman need to reverse her PCOS. So how we started? So yeah, as ma'am has mentioned, I myself is an Ayurveda doctor. I have been working as an assistant professor, and during my evening times, I used to run a health clinic. So during my initial days of clinical practice, I have encountered n number of college girls, students, and even women facing this difficulty of awareness about PCOS. Though there are a lot of articles and blogs regarding PCOS, there are a lot of misconceptions and misguidance regarding this particular segment. So that's when we started working on this. We have during the time of pandemic, when all the businesses were pivoting into online, we started our online weight loss programs and PCOS reversal programs, which actually became a huge hit. We had clients from all around the world. And that has, at a certain stage, definitely you need to scale. And that's when we thought, why don't we launch that as an app? And here we are. We actually just launched our app yesterday in the Huddle. And that's about our journey.
Thank you. Well, going on to Elizabeth. Elizabeth has been a practitioner in the area of speech pathology. Not many of you would know that speech pathology issues are very common, especially among school students. Maybe people with severe disability tend to be treated. For instance, somebody has had a stroke. After that, they need to get back their speech. There is a speech therapy that they go through. But that's a small population. There's a large population of people. Children especially, who may have stammering or they mix up words, etc. Not enough attention is being given, and that made her move from being an individual consultant who had her own practice to say, how do I make this even more popular? How do I impact a lot more of students and children? So let's talk about your journey quickly.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a speech pathologist and also a voice therapist. We advise our clients not to speak in such environments, noisy environments, which can affect our voice. But yeah, jokes apart, now there's no other option. So yes, I'm the founder of Phonologix. It's an assistive technology venture making speech therapy accessible to children with communication difficulties. So in India, a majority of the 25 million plus children who have conditions like autism, hearing impairment, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, stammering, or even developmental delays which affect their communication skills, do not have access to good quality speech therapy, majorly because of shortage of enough therapy clinics and even social stigma. So if you look at in the West, every 30 children have a speech pathologist, but in India the ratio is somewhere around 4,000, one speech pathologist for 4,000 children. So what happens is most of these clinics are in the cities, and mostly the severe children are taken to the centers. So many of the milder problems which could have been completely overcome if treated in childhood do not even reach the centers or do not get treatment. And in the West, we have school speech pathologists, which sadly we don't have in India. We have inclusive schools there, which are very few here. Inclusive schools where special needs children get additional support. All that is missing here. So that's the gap which Phonologix is trying to close. And we are doing it through an innovative e-learning platform along with teletherapy services. So this platform has gamified activities and strategies which empowers parents or caregivers to become co-therapists to contribute in the journey. So this way, this kind of therapy, which is one-to-one services, which can go on for months, some children need it for years, can be very expensive. So when parents or caregivers contribute to the process, the cost comes down, it becomes more inclusive, more people can afford to take it, and plus it's accessible. And nowadays, especially, we started right before the pandemic, it was more like an extension of private practice. Online therapy services started then, but after the pandemic, we have seen that the network connectivity has, seen the kind of boost which we all, have observed this. So we can leverage technology to make healthcare in general accessible. So that's what we are doing. And yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. Noureen, I wanted to ask you about competition. When I went to Amazon, I saw 100 products for menstrual cups. How do you plan to compete in such a competitive and such a crowded space of D2C products, especially through platforms such as Amazon and Flipkart? They have every brand of every size and every quality that is listed. How are you differentiating yourself?
Okay, so yes, competition is there. You're a D2C brand, and D2C brands are meant for mass audience and not niche. So what we have learned in our journey, throughout our journey, is that brand awareness and marketing is that helps you, stand ahead of all the other brands. And how we place our brand is basically we focus on the less favorable tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So all the brands that's existing, they basically cater to the tier 1, and we believe that tier 1 is just that 1% of audience. When we want to serve the real Bharat, it's basically in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Now, talking about Amazon, Flipkart, of course, reviews play a big role, and Amazon itself has its advertisements and everything. And again, we create the awareness on social media. The consumers get to know about a brand, and then they go to different platforms to compare the prices and then buy. So any consumer that comes to buy, especially female wellness and hygiene products, they have one brand on their mind. So they check out that brand on different platforms, because India is a very price sensitive market. So wherever they get it for the lowest price with the best offers, they purchase it from there. So again, we strive to create brand awareness, marketing in whatever way possible, along with good products. So that's what will help our consumers stay loyal to us and stay in our ecosystem.
So a follow-up question. I mean, it's great to say that I want to do brand awareness and marketing, but that's the most expensive thing to do in this world. So how are you doing it in a manner? I don't think you raised a lot of money, have you?
So we raised a first round of pre-seed, which was in early March. That's around 1 CR. So yes, the 70% of the funds will go to branding and marketing. And as I said, so we have a lot of frugal ways to do marketing, which is especially social media, wherein you market through your content. So the more shareable content you create, the more brand awareness you get. So that's exactly why we pick on the sensitive topics, which includes contraceptives, pregnancy, and everything, whether it be about sexual health or whatever. So, you make shareable content. So content is the key for every brand. So, what we've learned is every brand should be a content creator. And now people prefer founder-friendly brands, wherein the founders actually come forward, show their face and advocate for it, So we are doing even that. I am the face of my brand. One thing, because it's more convincing for the audience. Second thing, budgets don't allow us to hire a brand ambassador as of now. So yeah, so that's how we basically do. So there are a lot of frugal methods, like meta ads, obviously it's there. But the other ways are community engagements, where we go to colleges and we address 600 people at a time. So all these 600 audience is a potential customer. And then it goes through word of mouth. It just multiplies. Yeah.
Got it. Sonia, now to you. I was very curious to see that you have raised funds from different sources, including a CSR fund. But you're not a not-for-profit. So how do you raise CSR money for a commercial venture?
Yeah, so we have not got any angel funding or VC funding. The company is purely running by grants and CSR funding. Regarding the CSR funding, we got around 1 CR of CSR grant from Bharat Petroleum for developing a prototype to the product. It was with the help of Maker Village. And after the product development, we have got 6 lakhs of fund from HDFC Bank. It's also a CSR fund. With that fund, we were able to give devices to government medical colleges and Sri Chitra Institute of Medical Science, where the bottom of pyramid people are coming and they can't even afford one day monitoring rupees 3,000 rupees. So with our product, hospital is not charging anything because the HDFC Bank has given us all the fund for 1 year for the device and the service. So we can, using those CSR fund, we can create a social impact for the bottom of pyramid people. This HDFC fund was, we got the HDFC fund with the help of Sri Chitra Institute of Medical Science. So for startups like us, we need to collaborate with those type of CSR agencies or NGOs for providing our solutions to reach the bottom of pyramid people.
That's very interesting, and thanks for that input. I'm sure there might be people in the audience who have a similar product, and this is a tip that might be useful for them as well. Now to you, Vandana. Oh my God, this is just so much of noise. So Vandana, because PCOS is a physical and a mental issue. How do you get younger people, especially those who are in the late teens, maybe early 20s? That's when they start to realize that this is going to have an impact on their lives. How do you get them to actually take this up seriously and get into a program and do something? I mean, you can't always expect someone to monitor them, and they're probably a little too old to be monitored. They need to have their own motivation. So how are you working on that? This is all about lifestyle change, and this is probably applicable for any other chronic disease also, that you have to take charge of it and do it. So what is your trick, or what is your methodology of making this happen?
So what we did from the initial days is that we always made sure that we actually, sorry for that. Okay. See, we actually made sure that our social media platforms, because nowadays most of the Gen Zs or the millennials are there in almost all the social media platforms, especially Instagram. So we have a very good hold over there. What we did was, initially itself, we started posting a lot of awareness videos, very easy to understand regarding PCOS, what are the types, how it can be reversed, and trying to break all the myths and stigma that is around PCOS, which has greatly helped us in many ways. So that is one, definitely. And secondly, when a user sign into our platform, we always made sure that we try to give them awareness, because when a user already, the person know that what PCOS is. They have Googled, they know everything about PCOS, like what are the foods that has to be taken, or what kinds of exercise would be good, and all of that. And some might have tried for 2 or 3 months and then they came back to us. So in such situations, we made sure that what kind of PCOS they have. Like we have a lot of types, like insulin resistance. Maybe some people, the sugar levels would be high. Some may have pimples because there is inflammation, and some may have more stress. So there are lots of types of PCOS that comes along with that. So what we made sure is that we try to make them understand about their root cause of PCOS in the beginning and how we can reverse that. This actually helped us to even retain the customers. So most of the problem with almost all the reversal apps or the platforms is that after 2 months we cannot see the client. They'll just go away. So we always made sure that they are retained with us, because we give that personalized user goal, which has helped us a lot. Again, the third thing is we had a great community of people who have already reversed PCOS, and those who are in their journey to reverse PCOS. So, so most of the questions, very small things, questions and doubts or confusions that they have, through the community only they share, and we don't need the health coach to attend that. The people who have already reversed, they will attend that, which has actually helped to empower and motivate people who are trying to reverse, which has in a long way. Yeah.
Now, Elizabeth, speech therapy is something that requires probably the school to take an important role. I mean, at least for the audience that you're focused on. How difficult is it to get the schools to say, take this seriously in India? There is so many things that schools are trying to do, and there are so many people who are pitching to schools saying, offer this also, this is important for your kids. How do you break through that clutter so that the schools take you seriously?
So when we look at formal schools in India, so what happens is, in fact, even now, many children are turned away when they have a communication problem. So admissions for such children in formal schools are very limited, and most of them have to go to special schools. So what we are doing is, this condition in many children can be completely overcome. So we are targeting play schools and preschools where children, so there, even before they start talking, they enroll in such schools. So even there, what we see is parents are not they don't accept easily, because there's a social stigma. So when teachers talk about it, it's always, school is nowadays seen as a money-making business. So anything additional is suggested is not accepted. So we start by creating awareness. We are doing awareness webinars there, highlighting those red flags which can affect this, which could later become a problem. And then after that, we do free screenings. We offer free screenings. Again, like most of these schools have eye tests, which is, no parent objects to that. But we have had schools telling us our parents may not allow for screening because this, they fear, labels their child as, it could, any kind of disability. They fear that. So that also is a very, difficult to break kind of a process, but we offer the screening, and as many who can take, and sometimes just minor adjustments in the way parents interact can make a huge difference. So we give those suggestions, and they may not want to take speech. I think the word therapy in this is a very major issue here. Now slowly mental health and therapy is becoming mainstream, or that talk is happening. I think somewhere there, this problem also needs to come to that point where it's normalized. So that's when I think, so I feel we are like the big, the initial, startups or initial ventures who create that awareness. Probably later on more will join, and this will become normalized.
Helpful. Quickly wanted to check if there are any audience questions at this stage before I continue with that. Yeah, can you take a mic and pass it around? Thank you, Ganesh.
Hi, my question is for the CSR, the CSR comment that was made. So, does your product carry any co-branding from Bharat Petroleum or HDFC? So, do they need to co-brand, or do you need to have any branding from Bharat Petroleum or the HDFC Bank on your product when you take it to market?
So BPCL fund, we used it for product development, and HDFC fund, we have used it for depositing the device or donating the device to medical colleges. So for those products, we are mentioning sponsored by HDFC Bank in support of Sri Chitra Institute of Medical Science.
So the answer is yes, there is co-branding, but that is restricted to that particular project. Okay. Please.
Myself Rakesh, I am a founder of Sojas Farms. I am myself Rakesh, I am founder of Sojas Farms. We are into residue-free grocery. So
you're what into?
Residue-free grocery.
Residue-free grocery, okay.
Yeah, so we are into millet value-added products, and also it's a millet year 2023. So I want to ask, I think everybody have a similar problem. So it's a taboo talking about many of the points which we are talking about, right? So I think awareness is also what we are struggling with. So initially, January, February, there was a lot of reports, people were looking for it, and then it dropped. So just trying to understand what were the right way of getting into the market, what would be the right advertising approach, we should up. Yeah, social media is there, but how to collaborate, when to collaborate, because the mass is still not there as far as the healthy foods are concerned, right?
Yeah, who wants to take this up?
Yeah.
Noureen?
Yeah, so I understand that your product is residue-free.
Yeah, yeah, residue free. Yeah,
Grocery.
grocery. Yeah.
Okay, so basically food items, right?
Yes, yes.
So if you are looking to go forward, now you want to make it into a mass brand, right?
Yeah,
Not a
yeah,
niche, right? So I would basically suggest you to list your products on quick commerce, which is basically Zepto, Instamart, because that's where I think we all purchase our products. And of course, Amazon Fresh. So the advantage of going to marketplaces initially is that you get a better visibility without spending much. So when we started with Flipkart way before we, listed our products on our own website. So more people buy the products, there'll be more reviews, and it's basically a word of mouth. So I would suggest you to, Zepto, Blinkit, Amazon Fresh, Instamart. So this is your way to go. And then you can slowly get into retail. So that's I think that's a better option.
Yeah, so as you asked, currently it is a niche product because, yeah, it's not a, so that's the reason when you go to Instamart, they will say the volume is less, so we won't be able to. So that problem we are already facing. We are already in Amazon. Yes, so it is into health segment. So I think the webinars and the other part is actually helping us to get a D2C. When we are going to retail, we are there in retail for 300 odd hypermarkets in Kerala, but still the volume, right? And the ask by the retailers are sky high. So I think D2C is something is helping us, and creating the awareness is something what we are looking at. Yes.
How about your social media? Is it
social media? So one time that Instagram got hacked last year, so all of 1,000 customers gone. So now we have rebuilt it. We are just coming, and I think we are more getting into the awareness part of it rather than highlighting the products. So that is the shift we are doing on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what even Femisafe started. So I would suggest you to collaborate with influencers who are into healthy eating. That's a really good way, because you would probably pay them, let's say 20,000, and they can probably reach out to lakhs of their followers.
Yeah.
And what the trend I have seen is I have a lot of friends who are into vegan and who are into healthy food and stuff. So people who can really afford it, they will, purchase your product. So I think the right place is, again, to get awareness. Social media with good influencers, and even YouTube is a very good platform. Whichever influencers you do with on social media, which is Instagram, you can do with them on YouTube. So the reach is even more. So you create awareness and you add a value to your customer's life, even from your social media, which is content, which has good information. Your potential customers will drive back to you. So I think that's the way to go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Hi,
Go ahead.
good afternoon. My question goes to, good afternoon. Am I audible now? My question goes to Miss Elizabeth.
Keep it like this.
Yeah, I happened to meet her yesterday, and I'm really privileged to had a brief discussion. But one question I forgot to ask you is, what is the vision that Phonologix embodies, basically to expand it in healthcare in Kerala?
I think Kerala probably would be the wrong market, because most of the we have around 5,000 speech pathologists in India, and most of them are from Kerala. But the rest of India, I was in Gurgaon for many years practicing there. We used to have, from all these small towns in the north, where they have to travel to Delhi or Calcutta and all these places once a month, once in a few months to get one consultation. That is the situation. So, of course, the vision is it is accessible to every home. Every child who can overcome this just with that help they require in the initial years, if they get that, and the number of disabled children, because later they are termed disabled because they didn't get the help at the right time. So this number should decrease. And of course, most schools should start accepting children like this, because in fact you were asking about schools as well. one of the reasons they are not accepting is to have the services provided, it's very expensive. There's a small minority of children who need this help who come into the schools. For schools to have such a setup is not viable. So Phonologix and companies like us would like to offer online services where they don't have to hire their own speech pathologists, they don't have to hire their own team. If only a few children have this challenge, they can be helped remotely by us. So making the world more inclusive. So that's our vision.
Okay, I want to ask, slightly change the topic a bit and ask Vandana, you raised a round, right? You raised an institutional round. How challenging was it? Do you see that, did you have to pitch to a very, very large number of people? How did you end up selecting this particular investor? How challenging was it? Did you feel that there was any bias because you are a woman entrepreneur? Can you talk through that as well?
So first of all, the round that we have raised is an internal round. So it was not of a bit of a task for us in this stage, but we started pitching to the investors for the next round. Yeah.
Okay, so it was not a challenge for you?
Not right now, but definitely a challenge in future, yes.
Okay. Noureen, you have raised a round as well. Can you talk us through your journey?
Yes, it was very challenging because I think we pitched to around 20 plus investors, and again, a lot of people were like, it's very important that when you're a D2C brand, you reach out to investors who understand that you're a mass brand, because we were reaching out to wrong investors initially because who wanted very niche and who were looking for something very premium. But when we tell that, okay, we are focusing on the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and they used to be like, okay, but there are a lot of brands and, there are a lot of things. So you need to understand that more brands means the addressable market is more, So it was challenging. I think we pitched to at least 30 plus investors until we got our first round. And we came to a situation where even if you wake me up from sleep, I would pitch. I am that thorough. If you tell me to pitch right now, I can pitch right now in front of you, even without my pitch deck. So yeah, it was challenging, but then it's a nice journey because entrepreneurship has its own, fair shares of trouble. Yeah.
Okay, I want to now slightly shift it to another angle, which is how do you find this good? Each of you, I want all of you to comment on this. I've always heard that entrepreneurship can be a very lonely journey. It's up and down. You feel mentally challenged. You feel mentally tired sometimes. You wonder, why on earth are you doing this? Can you please freely share your experiences? Because I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs here may have experienced that as well. Sonia, with starting.
Yeah. So, our entrepreneurship journey starting itself was an interesting story. So I was an entrepreneur, before starting this entrepreneurship, I was an assistant professor in an engineering college, and my husband was a government employee. So in 2015, we met with a personal incident in the healthcare sector, and that motivated us to start this firm. So resigning all those jobs and starting this journey without any backup money was a tedious task for us. There was no support from the family, but we survived with some grants and all. And during the COVID, 2 months before the COVID only, we launched the product unfortunately. 2 months after the product launch, the COVID hit, and we were not able to pitch to the hospitals, not even enter the hospitals. So the revenue was zero, and company was running with zero revenue, but lot of expenses. During that time, I have even gone through stages like depression. Loads more than ups. There was lots of downs during our journey. But for the past almost 2 years, we are slowly growing, and we are now in a much stable position. Company is purely running with the company revenue alone. So it's an interesting journey for me. during the initial stage, my main aim was to look after my children, because as an assistant professor, I go to college even at 6 a.m. from the home and come back only at 7 p.m. So I thought if I am doing something by my own, I will get more time to look after my family. But reality was not that. Now I am working 24/7, 365 days. I am not even getting time to take care of myself. Yeah, that's the reality.
Thank you. Noureen?
I always tell that entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. We started in 2020, right after we got married. It was just, I have my co-founder who's also my husband. So we just got married. We were 24 and 26. And initially, it was very difficult because all we had was just the credit cards, which my co-founder Naseef had acquired while he was working. So we used to swipe it, buy the inventory, sell it, pay back the credit. So that was a cycle that went on for a very long time. And talking about how serious people took us, they did not take us seriously at all. So it was difficult because I wouldn't say lonely because there was two of us, but when it comes to two of us, yeah, we both were lonely. Family support, yes, our parents did support us, but you need the external support of your friends also, because that's very, very crucial when you're in a startup. It's like, as she said, it's like a 24/7 job. I just moderated Couplepreneur panel yesterday. So everybody said the same thing, that there is no, work-life balance. You can only integrate it. 24/7, you're with your co-founder. So even when you come at home, it's not like you just turn on the switch and now you're husband and wife, It's like always Femisafe, every single time. And it had got to a point where we felt like we were co-founders living under the same roof, not husband and wife. So we decided, okay, we'll have a date night every weekend. And we keep our phones aside. Then it's like, again, back to the starting point, we again end up talking about Femisafe. So yeah, it's a 24 hours job. It's not for the faint-hearted. Burnout, yes, burnout is something we will definitely face if you do not take breaks at the right time. I just faced my burnout a few months back and I was completely flat out. So that's when I told my co-founder it's very important to take the break when it's necessary. Because if you keep working until you reach the burnout level, then for a few months, you are going to be dead. You're going to be like zero productive. So yeah, it's nice, it's something that we enjoy. And if today I'm sitting here before you guys, it's because I'm an entrepreneur, Tomorrow, if I would be doing a corporate job, I don't know if I'd be sitting here addressing people, creating an impact in people's lives. So yeah, entrepreneurship comes with its fair share of, downs. But in the end of the day, when you know that you're making a difference in somebody's life with what you're doing, that's enough for you to have a peaceful sleep.
For me, actually, entrepreneurship was a coincidence. I will not say I was born entrepreneur or anything like that. I wanted to be a doctor. I am a doctor. And so I was definitely I was into, okay, I'll be practicing and so on and so on and so on. But I got married to a family of entrepreneurs where our dinner conversations became marketing, scaling, business and all of that. And yeah, definitely that made me realize the inspiration that these people can put to the table. So that's why I started having that motivation to build something on my own, definitely. So to this, that transition from a doctor to an entrepreneur was a bit of a journey because you need to learn a lot. So about how a medical thing works, but there are a lot of things that comes in entrepreneur. Like you as a startup, again, you cannot hire a lot of people because you don't have money. So you have to make sure that you do the marketing, you should do, about the accounting and all of that. So I really enjoyed this journey. But yeah, definitely as Noureen said, work-life balance is definitely difficult. But when you do something out of passion and interest, I think it just go with the flow. You don't feel that it is work, but you feel it as a part of life. So yeah.
So I would call myself an accidental entrepreneur when I started off, I saw this as an extension of my private practice. I had just taken my private practice online. But then this was during the COVID season. Of course, that time online therapy was, all clinics had closed. There was more demand. So then we hired more speech pathologists. We had started, offering to more children. That's when there was this program run by IIM Bangalore, NSRCL, and we got incubated there. That's when the startup term also came into my scheme of things. In the periphery we would hear about startups, but I had never even, taken a look. So that's when I started learning every single thing about, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to finances, every tiny thing was a challenge for us because we are taught to serve. As clinicians, we are taught to serve. So it's very difficult to think in terms of all those finance, all those numbers. So every single thing we had to start learning. But like Dr. Vandana said, when you have passion, so it became like, we started off thinking you are going to be flexible. You're an entrepreneur, you can do what you want. But then 24/7, you're thinking about this. This becomes, you literally live this. So then, the balance is very difficult. So just because of the passion we have, that's what's going to motivate us. If we don't have passion, initially, suddenly, many months without a paycheck can be very demotivating. You would want to give up. But only if you're passionate, only if you want to make a difference, to someone's life, that's the only reason why you would go on. So yes, it's a lot of work trying to balance. All of them have discussed about that. So for everyone, those ups and downs will be there. So if anybody wants to start up, I wish I knew all this before I started. So if you want to start up, I would say explore, understand what you're getting into, and then start.
Hi, I'm Anson. I am from Adamsdog. We are a platform giving free online doctor consultations. Okay, my question is to Noureen. So, how should we create contents in your initial stage? Do you collaborate it with any agency, or you are doing it by yourself, or what was the quality of that content? And,
Okay, so I hope there are no agencies here. So for us, experience with agencies have been a little difficult because as Elizabeth said, I'm very passionate about, talking about periods and contraceptives and everything, and I'm very vocal about it. I don't care whoever, what they judge me. So when we started off, we used to openly talk about hymen, hymen breaking, stigma and everything. And I think that's how we started. So initially, we were a very small team. It was just me and my co-founder. We used to sit, we learned Canva and we created the content. And we knew it was shit. Now if you go back on our Instagram page on Femisafe, if you scroll and you'll be like, oh my God, what is this content? But back then in 2020, it used to have around 1,000 shares. So I think it's about the content or the topic you choose rather than the aesthetics. So initially we started making content. Then as, our team started growing and, we can't really, as founders, we can't do everything. Slowly we kept somebody, who can create the content. And still today, I'm the one who proposes the topics. We have a social media executive. She makes the copy of it. And now we have a designer. So initially we started with Canva. If you have good knowledge about your product and about your industry, you can come up with topics. You can learn a little Canva and just put the post. So over the period of time, your audience will let you know what topic they like and what they don't like. So we used to put a lot of complicated topics in between just to, check. We used to do A/B testing. We figured out that people like very simple topics. If you put them how to drink water, that will have more shares than actually telling them about large intestine and small intestine. So that's how we figured out, trial and error. And over the period of time, you will figure out what your audience wants and, you'll just go with the flow. Whatever, when you take the insights of the content, whatever content has the most number of shares, start creating content around that topic. And once you have enough number of followers, then it just goes up. But that first boom takes a lot of time for us. It took like around 2.5 years to get that first boom of followers and content. But yeah, it was worth it. So yeah.
Yeah, I love the way you penetrated the market. It is such a big market and big players to tier 3 and tier 2. Yeah, thank you.
Does anybody else have questions? Otherwise, I'll. Yeah, there's one on the third.
My name is Devdas. What are the
Keep it like this. Yeah.
my name is Devdas. What are the core values are you keeping? Core values.
Okay. Maybe I'll answer this first, and then any of the others want to answer this. See, we are a healthcare company which provides services to our customers at home. And all the services that we provide to them are during the time when life is challenging for them. Either they have just come out of hospital and they are recovering, or there's an old person who needs continuous support, or they are having a disease like cancer and they are struggling with that. Whatever it is, it's a time of challenge for them. So one of my core values is that the care that we provide to our patients has to be with a lot of compassion. It's not just enough to be clinically right. It's not enough to do the right thing. It's enough to, very, very important for them to feel that you truly are empathetic to them. The compassion shines through every bit of the service that we provide to them. So that is the core value that we work with at Portea. Anybody else wants to add to that? Feel free. Yeah.
So in Curate, what we have faced is that in the beginning, initial days, the women or girls who are having PCOS, when they go to a gynecologist, knowingly or unknowingly, they are judged sometimes. You know, you should lose your weight, then your PCOS will be fine, or you should get pregnant soon, and so and so. This sometimes affects their mental health in one way or the other. Maybe body shaming or many other family problems and so and so. So what we do is we make sure that our health coaches and the doctors and gynecologists that is in our platform are non-judgmental, non-judgmental care is what we actually make sure. So that's our core value that we are putting into.
Yeah, I would want to add something. When we advise parents, after all, when it comes down to it, I am also a parent. So we understand the limitations. It's very easy to tell them, do this, do that, do multiple things. We as parents also realize it's difficult to multitask, do everything. So the first thing empathy is the first thing we need to have. What we are trying to do is simplify the process for the parent so that they can manage to do this within their busy lives. So the whole the platform was built also for that. So I think when we are talking to our clients, first understanding, there may be many reasons why they have not adopted a particular product or service. So understanding that first is very, very important.
Thank you. Would you like to add something, Sonia? Yeah.
So, as you know, we are dealing with cardiac or neuro patients. We have to ensure the quality and accuracy of the readings. Like we are competing with the German or US-based companies. So we should also keep that quality of our product. We should not miss any beat of the patient. And in the reporting, ECG reporting side also, we should keep the accuracy. We always think that we are generating the report of our relative, maybe our father or mother. So that's always in our mind. So that's the core policies we are focusing, quality and accuracy.
Thank you. So I'm sorry, I think I've been told to wrap up now, so I'm going to wrap up. I think it was a fascinating discussion with very, very good points that were brought up and excellent questions from the audience. Thank you. Just to sum up, there is a lot that's happening in the healthcare space, and these are just small examples of all the things that are going on. Healthcare is a space which has got huge amount of depth. Disruption is possible. Technology is ripe for us to use that and disrupt it. So that's, if any of you are looking for that as an area, you please be aware that there is lots to be done. Just remember though that, as some people have said, entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. It is a journey that you need to take on very deliberately. You want to be an entrepreneur, you be an entrepreneur. It's not a fad, it's not a fashion, it's not a great thing on your CV. It is something that has to come really from your heart. So with that, I'll wrap up the session, and thanks a lot to all my panelists.